I did speak to some residents who say they enjoy living here, but the majority say there are lots of problems. Now, for that HUD inspection, it wasn't a formal inspection. There's no report, but they did come out because they say residents said they were living in unsafe conditions. And also new tonight, we're hearing from some big names in Missouri politics about this complex. Have you felt like since our story, you guys have been retaliated against?
Yes.
We first reported on Opportunities Pavilion last week. Resident Louise Painter says that's the only way to explain this. All the chairs in the common areas of Building A being removed and locked up. Residents say Sunday church services had to be held outside since chairs were taken from the community center.
And it's going to get colder.
The Fox 4 weather team says temperatures were in the 50s.
We can come together and visit and have our coffee together and just for the companionship and not have to stay in our apartments all the time.
Rent is subsidized here by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. 3 days after our story last week, HUD did an inspection here. Monday, they said in part, property management identified some areas of concern for remedial action, including pest control actions, and has committed to address them. HUD will follow up in the coming weeks to ensure those items are addressed. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley told Fox 4 HUD must address claims of, quote, horrific living conditions and provide residents relief, saying in part, landlords who participate in federal housing programs and receive taxpayer dollars have an obligation to ensure that their units do not jeopardize the health and safety of the tenants they serve. The city of Kansas City, Missouri says Opportunities Pavilion has received 2 healthy homes complaints this year, a front door unit with no lock and a garbage room that was dirty and had bugs and spider webs. We showed you these photos last week.
I don't have no complaints.
Back on the property Monday, once again a resident came to the complex's defense.
If they're so unhappy, why don't they move? If it's that bad.
I can't move. I don't have the money to move on. And I don't know where I'd go anyway.
Hi, this is Russell Colburn from Fox 4. How are you? We again got the local property manager on the phone who wouldn't comment. She referred us to the parent company, Community Realty Management, which hasn't returned our calls and emails in the last week. I also spoke with Missouri State Representative Mark Sharp tonight. He said this complex doesn't get certain state credits. Essentially, the state's hands are tied and it's a federal matter. He referred us to Congressman Cleaver's office. We did reach out to him last week and we received a statement. You'll find that on fox4kc.com.
We are concerned about troubling and irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country. Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Well, the pandemic brought a decline in reports of financial and physical abuse because many people weren't in a safe place to report it at the time. Now more people are calling about abuse and neglect cases, and KVU's Pamela Combe tells us this number continues to climb, especially for the elderly. With the increase in cases comes an increased need for aid and resources.
Very important issue, especially in San Diego. Elder abuse. It's a growing problem and it can take shape in many different forms. Abuse in our San Diego real estate market is on the rise.
The New Mexico Department of Justice is charging 4 employees of assisted living companies with elder and resident abuse. The cases all involve alleged physical or verbal abuse of the people cared for by the suspects.
Brockton tonight, 3 women are accused of neglecting an elderly woman to the point where she died so they could split her Medicaid money. As WBZ's Beth Germano shows us, the suspects include the victim's daughter and granddaughter.
Mom now has been indicted for elder abuse for allegedly taping her own mom to a chair for 24 hours.
Patients at Colonial Heights Rehabilitation and Nursing Center are questioning what level of care their loved ones will receive after police issued charges against 18 staff members Wednesday.
Also at 6, a disturbing crime involving some of our community's most vulnerable.
Nursing home workers are accused of sexually exploiting elderly residents in their care.
Our reporting found thousands of seniors died while local aging agencies were investigating abuse or neglect claims. Take
Priscilla Presley, 79, has filed a complaint in Los Angeles County Superior Court accusing her former business associates, auction house founder Bridget Cruz and Kevin Fialco, of financial elder abuse. The lawsuit alleges that the defendants coerced Presley into giving them power of attorney, control over her family and personal trusts, and bank accounts over 2 years. Presley claims that the managers of Priscilla Presley Partners, LLC, worked with others to misappropriate over $1 million of her funds.
The daughter of a famous actor, best known for his role in movies like Coming to America and the TV show Good Times, is alleging he's become the victim of elder abuse in a small Colorado town. Investigative reporter Sean Rice is live in our newsroom tonight to break down the claims that now have sparked a criminal investigation. Sean.
Hey, Riley, 83-year-old John Amos is a resident of the small Colorado town of Westcliff. That's where the Custer County Sheriff's Office and the Colorado Bureau of Investigation are looking into a family member's claims that he's been the victim of abuse and theft at the hands of a caregiver. But tonight...
Aretha Franklin's sons are in court this week battling over the control of her estate and assets. The trial centers on 2 wills that were handwritten by the Queen of Soul and that were found months after her deaths. Jurors are tasked with determining whether a 2014 document found under sofa cushions in Franklin's home can be accepted as a valid will. 2 of her sons believe that it should be, but another son is defending the validity of a 2010 handwritten will found inside of a locked cabinet. Both documents were discovered in 2019, a year after her death.
Every year, millions of older Americans experience some form of elder abuse. And sadly, a majority of elder abuse cases go unreported. Today, the Justice Department released its 5th annual report to Congress on its efforts to combat elder abuse, neglect, financial exploitation, and fraud. As the report reflects, the department is taking an active and multifaceted approach to addressing elder abuse. During the past year, the department pursued nearly 300 criminal and civil actions against over 650 defendants, who collectively stole more than $1.5 billion from over 2.4 million victims. The department also supported elder abuse victims in many ways, including supporting over 5,000 victim assistance organizations that provided services to over 240,000 older victims, returning hundreds of millions of dollars to victims of elder fraud schemes, working closely with state and local law enforcement to make sure they have the tools to effectively identify and investigate elder abuse and fraud, and raising public awareness of fraud schemes and arming older Americans and their families with the information they need to protect themselves from elder fraud and abuse. These are just a few examples of steps we have taken to combat elder abuse, and reflects the hard work of so many, including our prosecutors, crime victim specialists, agents and investigators, program analysts, and subject matter experts. We hope you take a moment to read the report and learn more about the department's efforts. While we've made progress, there remains much work to be done, and we all have a role to play in pursuing elder justice on behalf of all older Americans. Thank you.